present. Are there any public comments?
Yeah. Is there talk of a rec band? Because we all feel like that was needed.
We're the moms.
We're the ones
We're the moms who carpool.
We're the ones that help carpool.
We literally are the carpool moms.
Yeah.
Oh, a van. I thought you said a band.
No, like a van, but
I don't know.
we're the ones that tend to carpool, and I'm not very comfortable taking other kids that, like, there's certain kids I'll take, like, their parents aren't gonna bother me, but that's my liability at that point.
Right.
And stuff, and like, our kids all play sports, like basketball started up, there's travel teams, stuff like that. And
Structured.
And then you can't really rely on just moms that have other kids too that could have sick kids, like. We all don't mind helping, but you can only do so much.
I have just a few structured thoughts.
No.
So
That was
hard to so I am actually Garfield, but I am part of the rec carpool. So it's very fitting that the three of us are here because we are usually the four ladies actually, standing outside the school or the rec and doing head counts and whatever, and oh, this person is going with their parents and whatever, and oh, we have this many seats, whatever, and placing kind of the unplaced children in our vehicles and transporting them. Hold on, just a second. We did voice to text on the way here, so it's kind of also another point to that is the number of children, and we saw this during soccer season, is the number of kids that were able to attend away games versus home games and home practices, vastly different. And it was because of the transportation. If the rec couldn't have reliable transportation to get those kiddos there, they just weren't coming. And some parents aren't able to take work off and whatever, so then that's where we came in. We were bringing those kids, whatever, and I, as a parent, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't just be like, yeah, my kid can go with whoever has an open seat. And unfortunately, some parents are put in that position that, well, I can't take work off, but my kid wants to go play rec. So, yeah, they can go in the open seat, whoever's car, whatever. And parents, because kids are very convincing, and they're going to the soccer game, whether they have transportation or not. And then the alternative is kids miss, and then we sometimes just barely have a team. So when you don't have enough kids, that actually happened in Easton. One of the times they had to have some of their kids sit out so that we were able to play. I also, not that anyone asked my opinion, but here I am. I think that a van would suit the rec department better, only because I don't know if anyone's ever traveled behind the rec bus leaving an activity or a game, but because some of the kids go home with their parents, a lot of open seats, they're aisle surfing, they're back and forth in those empty seats, they really utilize this space. They don't leave it on the field. That energy carries over to the bus. And I can honestly say that I would not be able to drive a bus safely, God bless you, with that level of distraction. So, a van, seatbelt, and, pent up energy in a seatbelt, I really feel like would suit the department way better than a bus.
Thank you. Can I get your first and last name just for the record?
Jalen Levasseur.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Andrea.
I should pick up with you and told them.
Okay, well, thank
That's most
you.
of our concerns.
Thank you very much. Okay, if there's no other public comments, we will move on to consent items. Review, approve, and sign minutes from the December 9th, 2025 regular council meeting.
Make a motion that we approve and sign the minutes from the December 9th regular council meeting.
Any discussion on the minutes? All in favor?
I have your copy right there.
Thank you. Okay. Item number 2, review, approve, and sign 2025 treasurer warrants 49P through 54B and 2026 treasurer warrant 1P.
I make a motion that we approve and sign the 2024 treasurer warrant, 49P to 54B, as well as 2026 1P.
I second that.
Any discussion on the warrants? All in favor?
Is there a second? Just a second, please.
Second.
Under new business, I'd like to add an item number 3. We had a application for a BYOB permit come in for the Snowmobile Club. Well, that's item number 3. Item number 1, discussion of nominations of local citizens for inclusion in the 2026 town report dedication page.
So as we previously discussed, you guys need to decide who you'd like to dedicate the town book to. I reviewed the town books over the past 5 years. It's typically a person that's worked for the town, contributed to the town significantly, or was a current Boston cane holder. There were a few recommendations, if you guys have numbers, if you have any other ones that you want to review. Just basically, I'm looking for a motion for you guys to dedicate the annual town report to your selected candidate. And if you want to use a number to select that person, in other words, so we can keep it a surprise in the long run.
Have we done it to one person, has it, or have we
It
done?
changes every year, so it's not consistent. So I think maybe sometimes you guys might have had a couple people that had significant milestones at the same time or something, and that's why it was multiple.
So if we want to add someone, now would be the time to just show it amongst the council, but.
Yes, I'm not sure how you guys handle this in the past.
Do you have a name in mind that's not on this list?
Okay.
Would you write it in?
There, thank you.
Okay, so we'll count that as,
Number 4?
Yep.
Have any of the 4 ever had the book dedicated to them before that you know of?
I believe possibly one under much different circumstances though, so I wouldn't say,
Different situations?
yeah.
Got it, yep, okay. And we limit it to 1 page, and it's just a matter of,
One page and what you can fit on that one page. I think I've seen in one of the years I saw it was 3 people, just a very small blurb and a very small picture of each person.
I didn't never want specific names.
Yeah, that's, I agree as well. I can't speak to the other 3. Well, I do know of number
Number three's contribution was largely through education, which is town related. But the other thing that person did was they shared their significant other when everybody else had stayed home and kept the home fires burning while the significant other was making a difference for the town, and that is not always recognized. So that would be the real strength to number three. When I look at number four, I think it would be nice to do something while the person is still here. Do you know what I mean? To have that person be honored while they know that they're honored. So that, I lean towards those three, 1, 3, and 4, but I'm not stuck on anything. I can be talking something else.
I would just like to throw out there, I like item, person number 1 because of all the contributions. I would entertain
Just the one?
Just the one, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah. I can live with that too.
It's fine with me.
I agree 100%. I mean, I have connections to 3 out of the 4, and I know of the 4, so, all deserving. But one of them had significant impact on the town and about everybody in the town.
Yeah, generations.
Generations of, and I do think the milestones number 4 will come. Probably too late, but you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
But I would support number 1 at this time. I think that it's one of those things where the door would close and it wouldn't happen if we don't do it now.
Well, I go along with his.
Well, I
Yeah.
try not to shut the door on anybody.
No, it's a tough decision. I
It is.
mean, it's too bad you couldn't, have more than just one person, but, it is what it is.
Then it waters down the significance of it
Right.
as well.
Sure.
So I would make a motion that we dedicate the book to number 1.
Second.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
That's an excellent suggestion.
Yes.
Thank you. Item number 2, review the transportation-related operational needs for the library and rec program.
Much easier now, we're not talking in code.
But they told us that.
You got that already down, those numbers?
One, 3, or 4, or what, or?
So the rec department and the library are requesting approval to purchase a newer 15-passenger van to better meet the current needs of the department's transportation. The replacement bus that the school transferred to us is 15 years old, which is over its useful service life, which is why the school transfers it to us. At this point in time, we know it's going to need at least a couple $1,000 to get it up and running and on the road. It needs new batteries, there's an issue with the starter, and we need to paint over half of it a certain color so that we can drive it not as a school bus. The bus is significantly larger and more costly to operate than necessary. Our typical group size is 8 to 12 people, so really the bus is just overkill. We also are facing ongoing licensing requirements that further limit the bus usability. You have to have a CDL for the bus. Macy's still trying really hard to get her CDL, but Lucas is tied up and hasn't had time to work with her to drive. The other thing is it would also, with it being a van, anybody could just jump in and drive, so I tend to kind of fill in wherever I need to, so if there was an issue with Macy, I could totally drive. Hey, you didn't see me driving anything. No, I'm I could totally drive a van, but definitely not backing the bus up anyway. So a van would provide substantial savings, greater operational flexibility. Based on the current figures of the 2 departments, when I typed my notes up, we didn't have final numbers, but we do. I gave those to you guys this evening. So the library department came in under budget by $26,000. That's transitioning to their reserve. And the rec was at $12,059.63. I've done a lot of research, Macy and I both have. Basically, you can get a 15-passenger van. They range from $30,000 to $65,000, depending on if you want to use one. $65,000 obviously is a brand new one. Did also look in the books where we have money remaining from the whole tree grant of $9,552.78 on the books. So there's an option to utilize that. I'm pretty confident we could secure a decent option in a used option in the range of $30,000 to $40,000. So if it's something you guys are looking to approve, I do think it would vastly benefit everybody, and save us money in the long run. There's a few different options. We could utilize reserve funds from both those two, departments along with that whole tree grant, and we could move forward with it. We could add it to the budget as a whole purchase for next year when we're working on next year's budget. We could also look at taking out a loan and building that into next year's budget. So it's just a matter of whether you guys agree on transitioning to a van and how you wanna go about it if you do.
Thank you.
So could we, I don't know, had time to think about this, I know we discussed it briefly. Could we write a warrant, saying requesting to use the surplus from those two departments, we know the dollar amount, in the whole $3 grand to purchase a van?
So the surplus that are in those are council designated funds,
Right.
so we've never really written a warrant for the town to approve our council designated funds.
Mhm.
It's up to council to decide where to use them.
Okay.
And it's based off that article, I did have that in my notes, based off of Article 41. Article 41 in last year's book, I'll go grab it real quick. It actually is the article that says that all of the money left in the reserve gets put into that specific council designated fund. Anything
Oh,
left
because we don't have,
in the
that's
budget,
right,
so it's not
we
technically a
haven't,
surplus.
we haven't set up funds for each of the departments.
No,
Or they're very, very light.
So if you have that balance sheet that you
Yes.
just put it, so this is, the money that's in these reserves are basically what we had for what each department had left over last year, so they got put into that, so these are
And
what
on
we're doing today.
that sheet you have, that is, yeah, that, Tammy just updated those today, so that includes what the excess, I guess we call it, is from last year.
I don't question that there's, I realize there's a need for a different means of transportation. And I do agree with you, Pastor Van, I think the question is, how do we go about paying for it? Dumping out all of our reserves, I don't think it's an avenue, it's probably not the smartest thing to empty them out, if something comes up. I am curious, with the rec and the library, can they both utilize it?
Yeah, so the library last year ran a summer program, Macy's got something started already, that's more of like a life skills kind of summer program that has things built in, just like it did last year. Macy actually arranged some of the transportation, and I'm sure these moms probably did as well for that same library program. And then Wendell always brought senior citizens out to eat like once a month, and they've been calling a couple of times. A lot of those people in the senior citizens group are the same ones that get together for the tea parties and things at the library as well, so that would be something that they could utilize to take their stuff off site if we had means of transportation for them.
I don't think that there's any, like you said, there's no question that there's a need. The question is when. So do we do it, this is the middle of January. We're gonna have our budget meeting, I think it's the 17th of March, right? The
Well,
third,
the town meeting,
the town meeting.
17th of March,
And
that would be the.
So that's just about 2 months. So the question is, do we do it now or do we wait 2 months and put it in the budget? When we put it in the budget, I'd rather see us just put it in the budget and not do a loan. I'd rather not pay
Mhm.
interest, because I think that's a better use of our money. So to me, that's, and I could see using some, like you talked about, using all the reserves. If we could be just patient enough, if we could use the school buses and stuff, and I know there's limited availability, they were using vans today for school skiing, so I know there's issues with the buses at school, so I acknowledge that, but if it's true, that, anyways, but we're looking at just 2 months, and we could budget for it and take a little bit out of reserves and budget for the rest of it, so we don't wipe out the reserve account too.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a good idea, only because with the town meeting form of government, you get the community involved. And with the subsidies we're having with those two departments, I think it highlights the advantage, maybe strengthens if we put that in the budget. You know, like both the chair, Ms. Collins, said, we're not dipping into reserves that we may need for some other reason. This way lets people know that we're, you know, looking at ways to support those two, that support the young people in the community. And if we can work that in the budget, since we're so close, as Ms. Collins said, that makes sense.
It's only 2 months.
I do agree with it, because we are so close. If it was August, then we'd probably be talking about different, you know, something
We have
different.
soccer and basketball.
Well, I'm just talking like budget time.
Oh,
Right,
yeah,
right.
too.
So what are you thinking you're looking for a price for a van? Like 40,000, I see that
yeah.
you.
40's the high end. From what I've been looking at, there's a really good one in Dover Foxcroft right now. It's got like 50,000 miles on it, I think it was,
Yeah.
the 2020, and that's like 36. The problem is, we start looking at them and then they're gone. It's
Yeah,
like
of
the
course.
same situation that we run into with the public works truck, so. I've seen them around 25, 27, but then obviously you get higher miles, older, so we gotta kinda weigh our options, but. I mean, I put 40 in there as a high end, only because, like, I don't wanna end up in a situation like we did with Public Works, where it was a $35,000 truck, and then we have to come back and ask for more money, so. I don't know, I think 36, 37 would be a decent range, the thought wasn't to drain reserves by any means, it would be kind of a percentage, a portion out of each account. Except for that whole tree money that's been sitting there on the books, I think that would be a good utilization for that.
I would love to see us use the whole tree money, use every bit of that, that's not an issue. And I think it makes sense to use rec. I hate to take a little bit, I wouldn't hate to take a big bunch out of the library, but like a small amount out of the library, if you were going to, considering the programming.
Mhm. Well, and I think that changes only because, like, the library reserve, the library had no reserve at the beginning of the year. The library's reserve was $413. So, because of being able to merge the two departments into one, is, as far as programming is concerned, is where a lot of that savings came from out of budget this year.
Did you have something, Mr. Isaac?
So if you build this in the budget, you take your high 36,000, subtract what the whole tree grant is, and
Yep.
that's the amount you put in the budget.
Correct.
Requested, not touching reserves, and we had to after the town meeting.
Correct. Yep.
So one thought I had, just a thought, was we could, if both departments are gonna utilize it, I was thinking we could put a capital expenditure line item in the budget for each department of $20,000 each. And then if there was any money that, if for whatever reason we found one and it was 45,000, we
Yeah,
could
the whole
use,
tree.
we could use the whole tree to make up the difference.
And
Yeah.
it's a better vehicle, that's a good
I feel that
idea,
would cover us.
Right.
that's a really good idea.
And plus, that wouldn't tie us just to the van, so if we got the van at a lower cost with the whole tree grant, we'd still have money in that capital reserve fund, which I think is prudent, because they both have buildings, which they need capital reserve funds. So that is that's a great idea.
It is a great idea, because it gives us flexibility. I would be interested in knowing how many away, I think basketball is what's going on for rec department. I would be interested in knowing how many away basketball games there are, and if there is a way for us to rent by the day something that would relieve us of liability when a school bus is not available. It's probably millions of dollars,
I can check with
But-
the ACE. I don't know if they have a 15 passenger.
but when, I know that the school will help us when they can, and when they don't have a bus for this 2 months, what would it cost us to rent something just to get through, to cover ourselves on liability,
So until you get the van,
until we get the van. A short term, that's not, I don't know the
Games,
answer.
how many games?
That's
Roughly right now I have 6, I would like to schedule more, but
6 away or 6?
6 away. And that's for my grades 4 to 6, but I would like to schedule for my younger kids so that they can kind of get out and learn the game some more, but, I mean, I can only rely on these ladies so much.
No, that's
Well,
why,
understandably, yeah.
In
that's why I
2
asked the
months.
questions I asked.
So basketball ends in March, and so we're very busy, we're getting busy, the games start next week, and I'm like racking my mind with how am I gonna get all of these kids to where they need to be so that they are learning this game, they need to, you know?
We were just talking about the boys' basketball team.
It has come full circle.
It starts at rec.
It does.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Is there, I mean, is Ace,
I can
Is there
check,
place-
I don't know if they,
Well,
have it with me, that, I can look online real quick.
And the school will be available some. It's not that Lucas never has a bus for us, it's just sometimes he does.
What's hard right now is, for the school is, the junior high ski teams takes them out 7 to 8 years.
Yeah,
Like
Luke
you're
has made
doing
it very
now, so-
clear that he
That's-
cannot give us a bus
right,
unless
because-
it's vacation. In which, that's great, like if we do get a van and I do have stuff during vacation and it's a big group, he's more than willing, you know, but
Yeah.
other than that, other than summertime,
what do you guys, anything that?
What's your suggestion of putting in?
Right, yeah, so, okay, I guess we can discuss that or vote on that.
I'll have to call, you don't have to.
I guess we don't really need to.
Alicia,
I've rented
We don't really
a
need to make
15
a vote.
passenger van
Right,
a
I
lot
would make a
from
motion
Ace,
that
and you're only allowed 100 miles
we
a day.
put 20,000
And that's,
capital fund.
that's
for
hard,
Department
if you're going,
yeah.
for the next budget.
Anyway,
Management
right.
that in for each, current budget.
Amanda, we will invite you
I'll
on
second
that.
the motion.
What was the motion exactly?
To put,
I didn't
Go ahead, you,
the motion is to add $20,000 to the rec and library budget. $20,000 line item for capital expenditures.
Good.
no, you only put.
Yeah,
And just for
purposes
capital
add,
expenditures.
Just capital expenditure, we can talk that if it's.
So 20 for each department.
You don't wanna tie yourself to that.
Okay.
extra, I'm not sure the proper word to say, but when we go for subsidies, I would just say that that's, because saying capital expenditure, I think as long as we just go and meet them and say, okay, this is for a van, we'll be okay, but because of how everything's been handled leading up to where we are, it may come across as sneaky, I guess, for a lack of a
Well-
better term.
Well,
So I need to tell them predominantly it's for the van, if there's money left over, it goes into the reserve account. And if they're a subsidy, they're providing a subsidy, they've gotta say, the budget committee. I think we would agree to that as a council.
We agree that they could have a seat, but they don't have a say, they don't have.
Well, they're an ex officio, so they can't talk, they can't vote. So they're not just sitting there not doing anything. They're at the table. It's my experience is, you have ex officio members who represent an organization, they have a voice at the table, but they don't have a vote. So it's very important to have a voice, because oftentimes that sways the vote, based on my experience. If you just say you can come and sit, that's, you make them an ex officio, and they have a voice at the table. But I think if,
It's just perception, that's all. I'm not saying that's what they are, it's just how it's been
well,
perceived from this town.
I know the history, I know what that's why I think you can get foot stomp and say, yes, the capital improvement, the intent is so we can purchase a van, but if you're paying a subsidy, you have a voice at the table. You don't have a vote, if they ask if you have a vote, no, but you have a voice, and that's important, because then you can speak your mind, you can quite possibly sway the vote. That's, you're at the table. which they weren't before. So there's a motion on the floor.
There's a motion on the floor to manage for $20,000 for each department for capital expenditure. Next year's budget. Any more discussion? All in favor?
So who made the motion? Jim?
Verizon.
And I second it.
Seconded. Okay, item number 3, we had this, a BYOB permit come in for the Snowmobile Club. If you'd like to look it over. see
Just
what-
gonna say, doesn't require a signature.
Okay. I'll, you guys, so you can look at it.
When is the function?
I'm looking.
Mark.
So you'll be March,
What's Gretchen's birthday? June.
Yes.
It's March 14th. That's the rec center.
And they gonna have alcohol over there at the rec center? Cause I was always just, I mean, the last few years, anything to do with the town, we couldn't have alcohol. But, I mean, that's the way I understood it. That's the way it used to be, I don't know if it was changed or not.
But this allows it to,
Yeah,
council approves this allows it.
Correct.
So you just need a motion.
Is that
Take
for
a motion that we approve
It's for the,
auction?
the option, yeah.
the application for the BYOB.
I second it.
Any more discussion on it?
We have approved it at least the last 2 years.
3.
It-
Yeah.
it has
Well, I don't
been
wanna fight against it, I just,
Yeah.
I was, cause we used to have fire department parties upstairs and we couldn't have alcohol up there because it was on the, but, and that's why we started going down not BF, but down the road, but, no, as long as we're legal.
at least 3 years, so Jim pulled the fire line about 2 years ago.
There we go.
That's what happens when you put alcohol in.
They've been a lot better though.
All right, do we have a second?
Serious.
Any other discussion? All in favor? All opposed? I'm going to abstain based on the applicant. Okay, old business, I see none. Managers report?
December financials, I left them out for you guys this evening, they just got wrapped up at like, right on the dot, 5 o'clock just about. We actually ended the year at 96.79% the budget, so that's a nice surprise. There are some outliers when you look through, and I will just touch on the highlights. For instance, in general government, under the salaries, you'll see the deputy clerk that came in over. That is because that part-time position, that's part-time library, part-time town office, they weren't utilizing those hours that way. When I came on board, we split it so that it was being utilized the correct way, but everything that was spent out up till then, that's why we came in over on salary there. For that same piece, when you go to the library, it shows that we are over under, health insurance. That's because that person's health insurance wasn't being split between the 2 departments, but that got corrected as well. One other big outlier is on the fire department. You'll see their workers' compensation came in under by $14,485. That is because when we calculate for workers' comp, anybody who is trained as a firefighter has to be rated as a firefighter when they're calculating the rate. But this budget has always budgeted the full amount of everybody that's trained to be a firefighter and all of their wages underneath the fire department. So the fire department had been incorrectly being charged for all of the full-time paramedics, EMTs, that are all of their wages from the ambulance department. So that shows over, or under here, and then it contributes to the overage in the ambulance department. Other than that, if you have any questions on anything else, those are like the big outliers. I did actually have one question for you guys when I was looking down through this. I know reserve accounts are kind of a new thing. Like with the bandstand is in it's getting old, there are some things that could be done up there, and I was just wondering what is normally done. I was told it basically just goes to surplus, but with anything that's left in that account, and is that something that we should look at setting up its own like perpetual care account for, or something for those funds to go to, rather than them just dumping back to surplus? So like this year, it was unexpected expended balance of $1,224.11. Instead of that just dumping back, is that something that we can put into like a care fund and have it set up that way?
I'd be fine with that.
Is there a reason that we can't?
No,
I think it's one of those, things that got overlooked when we originally set up the Department of Reserve.
yeah, so if we set that up, I think we just need to be cognizant that even if we don't set a cap, we just don't end up in 5 or 6 years, we've got, $10,000 or $15,000 in there if we don't.
Yeah,
We don't need, so I would just be, I think we need it, we just need to keep an eye that we don't have more in there than we need to spend.
so would you guys,
So I think it's a good idea to set that up.
lean the same with the trotting park as well? I mean, there's not really much up there, but we do have playground equipment up there, we do have outhouses up there, there are things.
Yeah, I'm a proponent of, reserve account, because you know things are gonna happen, you project, it's kinda like replacing the roof on your house or car maintenance, you kinda have an idea what you're gonna need, and you put that in your reserve account, so it doesn't come and bite you, and you have to do the bill again.
We're actually a little over on starting funds this year, aren't we?
Yeah, I don't know if that's in how, I don't know of anything that happened up there, so I don't know if it's in how, she calculates like the gas or the mowing maybe? Anybody have any questions offhand on anything else? Look that quick, yeah, I know you didn't have much time to look at them, but, I'll move on to wind, moratorium, that's been kind of a going thing, and the food sovereignty ordinances have been sent over to legal. So once we have them back, hopefully we'll have them back in enough time, and we will do a public hearing shortly before our council meeting, and then can go on to be voted on at the town meeting in March on those two items. Ice rink, Macy, Jeff, Dawn, Stacy, I put in a ton of work up there, so hoping to have that open, if Mother Nature continues to. Yeah, good, okay, sounds right. Christmas lights. I know part of the reason that Ellie selected snowflakes was so that they could stay up longer. Does anybody have a when they want them down, or any concerns about that?
I think Patrick's Day maybe. Then go to Mayo,
Boy, is anybody complaining?
No, nobody said anything, I take that back, I did hear somebody say we have to pay electricity for them, but they're not a resident or a taxpayer in Ashland, so.
Maple just took theirs.
I saw that, but theirs are
They're
residents,
Christmas,
yeah,
Yeah.
ours are more, and I see at Prescott still has all their stuff.
day.
Yeah, they did it on Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
You gotta leave
They
them up.
didn't do it was about the voters this time, they did it with a genie.
You gotta leave them up through March,
Okay,
Sure.
I think, right?
End of March, or.
I mean, we'll take the Grinches down
I mean,
this week, but.
If it's green grass in March, then I guess we'll take it down, but I guess.
Okay,
I think leave that to the manager's discretion.
Sure.
yes,
In
remember
public
that if
works.
the electricity comes in over budget.
On the two proposed ordinances, is the council gonna see those before it goes to town meeting?
Didn't you guys get copies of them, the draft? You guys reviewed the draft?
Right, and then the planning, committee then held a public hearing,
Yep,
and did the public hearing change anything?
nope,
It's still the draft.
yep. So you'll get it before it goes to town meeting, but are you saying that because it's at legal, so I can try to.
Well, I'd like to,
Right,
I'd like to see a copy after legal's done.
Yeah,
I think
definitely,
council should see it after legal
yes,
and before the public hearing.
mhm,
And then city council, public hearing, then the town meeting.
and there has been, the planning board has held a public hearing on it.
Right, yeah,
Okay.
they have to, yeah, I
I'm just
understand
making
that.
sure you're aware of that.
Yeah, no, I understand. But I think council needs to see it after legal counsel has looked at it, because that's what's going.
In the past, we've done, a council would look at it, and we'd have the public hearing at the same time.
Yeah, you can do that. Nothing prevents you from doing that.
And we just had discussed like 15 minutes ahead of time.
Yeah,
I mean, they didn't have a big turnout.
there wasn't a big turnout for it, but yeah, in the past, we've done, depending on what you expect, but you could do a half hour, 15 minutes prior to our regular council meeting.
So we'll need time 2 nights.
And, is that something that you guys want, it would be on the ballot, like, with the council, correct? Not in the articles that they vote on at that meeting? It would be a ballot question.
I don't think, no, I think the town meeting,
Put it at
it's a town meeting,
meeting?
yeah, I think that's my understanding of town meeting form of government, I don't think you put it on the ballot.
The only other thing I have is that I'm not available for the next meeting in February on the 10th. Looking at backing it up, if anybody has any issues with that, open to quite a few days. I know Sherry and I talked, and I know Jim and I talked briefly Thursday. I thought you guys said the 5th worked for both of you. Other than I was looking at Monday the 9th, or I can do anything before that. I would just be hesitant against going like all the way back to Monday the 2nd, just because we've got budget committee meets next Tuesday, the Tuesday after is your budget work session, and then that bounces us right into that next week.
No, I'm fine with it.
6 or 6:30?
I could do that, as long as you don't have any other than 6:30.
6:30?
Six Thursday, okay. So we'll do February 5th, 6:30.
Thank you.
But our budget meeting is on Tuesday,
I was gonna bring that up, but I guess we can discuss it now since.
I'm good, that's all I have.
So I sent out an email, so we're looking at doing our budget meeting.
Work session.
Work session, sorry, Tuesday the 27th. At 6, or would 6:30, or would it be 6:30?
Either or.
Six would be fine.
Tuesday's not an issue, Thursday's a big push for me, but, yeah, Tuesday works.
Does that work for you, Mr. Bessie?
Squeezing in as many meetings as you
I know.
can before you leave.
Okay, thank you.
What was the date of the meeting?
The 27th at 6
Is that the
o'clock.
council budget workshop?
Council budget workshop, yep.
Okay. Anything else? Mr. Rison, do you have anything?
No, sir?
Mr. Raymond?
No, I just have a question about Macy with the driving. So you're having difficulty with the driving part of the, no?
No, I have my permit, but Luke's is busy at the school, and he's the only person that can drive with me to get my hours before I can go for my
Oh.
license.
It has to be that person, no?
He's a certified.
Oh, okay.
Through the state.
We found that 'cause we got a couple CDL guys, so we weren't allowed to.
We're fortunate to have him.
Yes,
A
yes.
lot of towns don't, they have to go to another town and
Just one, if we do get a van, which I think is a good idea, is it only going to be utilized for the rec and the, library, or?
I think we could utilize
And
it
the
for
elderly.
anybody in the
Okay.
town, like any town department, if there was something.
Because I just know in the past, we used to go to not meetings, but trainings for the fire department, we had to take 3, 4 vehicles.
Mhm.
Sometimes we've rented a van and gone down when there was enough people going down.
Yeah.
Just that, you know, I think if, you know, you can say it's gonna not be just used for that.
Yeah.
But the other thing is,
Then
it's
I
gonna be
agree with
a
that.
town employee that drives that van.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Thank you. Mr. Bessie?
has there been any, advancement or work on the VF lights?
Jeff scheduled that with LaJoy, he
Okay.
called, told him to do it, so it should, I would think, if,
Okay, I had lunch down there and I've looked, I'm like, oh, that hasn't been done yet, I'll
up
ask.
at the flag,
Down by the one stop, yeah.
okay. I
Hasn't
drove
been
by
done
there
yet.
so many times, I never even noticed it.
Oh,
I don't know why, I'll make sure I look this time, but no, he put in the request to them
Okay.
shortly after our last.
well, they were on the Portage Road today putting up, school crossing signs.
Oh, no.
There's two flashing lights, one in Portage and one before you get to Nashville about, school bus stoppings. There's a couple bad corners,
There you go.
so, I don't know who's paying for those.
I don't think it's us.
No, it's not us. There wasn't anything on Ashland soil.
Anything else?
No, I'm good.
No? I don't have anything. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.